Could I have been a Beatle? Given that I have like even less like natural musical proficiency than Ringo Starr, no, I could not have been a Beatle. I couldn't even be a bootleg Beatle, you know. Hello, my name is Lias Saoudi. I am the singer of a band called Fat White Family, and these are my essentials. My favorite album of all time is this album that I'm just about to release, because it's finished now. Like, I don't have to continue making it, you know? It's a bit like, you know, I guess how Mandela felt when he walked to freedom or whatever, you know? So I associate this album with a kind of ecclesiastical kind of like liberation of the spirit on every level, you know? Like, whatever happens to me now, from henceforth, whatever befalls me, good or bad, it's not making this album anymore, you know? And for that, I will always be grateful, you know? And in that sense, it's kind of my favorite, you know, record of all time.
Convoy. Who goes book shopping by convoy? I don't read anymore, as you know. All the same, nobody goes book shopping by convoy. That's when I knew something was a fuck. That's when I knew it was fuck for sure. But you're 5, you know. Your dad's word is the whole of the law. Anyway.
My favorite post-punk band of all time would be The Fall, because they're better than all of the other bands. I always thought Joy Division was a bit, I don't know, just a bit kind of repetitive and kind of monotonal, or kind of just like blanket depression, you know. I'm a bit of a depressive, but I'm not that much of a depressive. I like a bit of a lark as well, you know. There was more playfulness about The Fall. I oscillate between like Bob Dylan and The Fall, depending on how like saccharine and sentimental I feel at any given time, you know.
There's a list of incorrect things.
I used to think I was a John man. I mean, let's just take Ringo and George off of the table right away. But I was watching the Get Back doc like everybody else in the world. And what a relief it was to see them like pissing around in their own crap for days, weeks, and the bickering, you know. Like, I felt like, oh, you know, everybody's been down those corridors, you know. But one thing really endeared me to Paul, and it's just his kind of desperate, sniveling need to keep the band together, you know. He can kind of tell that John is like the one, you know what I mean? He's kind of the Jesus, whether he likes it or not. You know, he just desperately wants to keep the lads together, you know, to like rock it one last time, you know. And it's just so, it's kind of, it's pathetic, you know, but in a way that I found really like heartwarming, you know, and that I personally could really relate to, you know, just one more time, you know, even though it's like definitely not on the cards, you know. So Paul, I'm gonna go with Paul, you know.
Get back, Joy!
My favorite movie of all time is the third Rocky installment, Rocky 3. I mean, the thing about Rocky 3 is it's, you know, it's fucking terrible, do you know what I mean?
You know, you've got a big mouth.
Initially, it's the least kind of competent Rocky. It doesn't make any sense. Mr. T cannot act, you know? It's better to have a kind of like Dolph Lundgren where it's just silence, you know? And not acting becomes acting. But Mr. T keeps kind of like these ridiculous utterings, you know, like just this monotonal, like angry waspish kind of like crap, you know. It doesn't really make any sense like narrative wise, and you've taken a kind of serious franchise and then there's that Hulk Hogan thing and it's all silly all of a sudden. He's having a wrestling match, Rocky's a boxer, it's bullshit. But then later on in the film, Apollo Creed steps into the mix, God rest his soul, and he's like, you know, he wants to teach Rocky to like regain the eye of the tiger, you know.
Gotta get that look back, Rock. Eye of the tiger, come on.
In LA, he takes him to like his original gym, Touch Gym it's called. And you get this like 45-second clip where he introduces Rocky to this gym, you know, and there's all these just like really serious black guys in there, you know, and their bodies are just like glistening with like oil and sweat, you know, and he's like, Rocky, you know, you gotta get that look back, you know, the eye of the tiger, you know. And I just thought, you know, man, that's great, you know what I mean? So I think that's probably my favorite film of all time, you know, on account of that short clip, you know, like I live by that.